Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the southeast corner of the map playing in red we've got iammagic playing as the Malians, and his opponent today in the northwest we've got Vortix playing in blue as the Mongols. Welcome everyone to Empire Wars, a new game mode. Well, actually it's been out for a while, but a game mode for Age of Empires 4 on the map Woodwall. Now we haven't seen Woodwall for a very long time, so let's refresh your memories. We've got these two mountainous ranges, or ridges I should say, really, split by a wood wall, of course, hence the map name. And then on either side, you've got a way in. Take a sight on both sides as well, so it's a very symmetrical map in many ways, and it's definitely an interesting matchup, I can tell you that for sure, because the Mongols versus Malians on other maps is a very different prospect, but today we've got Woodwall and also Empire Wars. So you can see they both had 23 villages to start off with, now up to 26. It's going to be the Mansa Quarry here for the landmark for the Malians, for the Mongols. We've got the Silver Tree. That's going to be accessing a lot of trade options for the Mongols. It's something they do really well, but I've said for a long time that the Mongols trade is so strong. It's crazy because it makes their opponents have to try and account for it, to deal with it, to punish it. They have to do something about it. But on Empire Wars, with everything a little bit sped up and the Malians actually in a good spot here on Woodwall, they could potentially do some damage. Now, the thing is that the Mongols trade, if you can protect it as the Mongols, you're just laughing. You're in such a good spot if you can do that. But the situation that Vortix has today is the fact that the Malians have a really strong feudal age. And whilst in the past they've gone for castle age in many ways, and that's really when their power spike used to rise, I think generally now feudal age for the Malians is very viable. Especially considering the unique units, right? You get the Donsos and you get the javelin throwers, which is great against what the Mongols will throw at you. Now, there was once upon a time when the Keshik was not a thing for the Mongols, right? They used to only get horsemen, and I think the Keshik has changed so much. It's given them so much protection over that trade. Like, as a unit, it's so strong at helping to protect that trade. And, well, the thing is the Malians, they get Donsos, right? So, adequately positioned, the Donsos and a big death ball of sort of javelin throwers and death ball of, well, mixture of javelin throwers and Donsos together in strategic locations at a good timing can dish out a lot of damage. It's very hard to push off. Because what do you push it back with? What, Keshiks and archers? Well, you're pretty much countered by both those units. So it's kind of a tough situation for the Mongols in many ways, and I'd love to see the Mongols struggle. I mean, they tend not to struggle, so come on, at least let us make them struggle at least once in a while. And there's that market being built, so it's going to be... Wait, hang on. Double? He went Silver Tree, and he's also going for a market. So it's going to be double producing the traders from the Uvu, and then trading again as well with the market. That's pretty greedy. But speaking of greed, well, the Malians can be greedy themselves, going up with a couple of cattle ranches, and cows will be coming soon. Double mill production of cows as well. The cow boom is on for the Malians, a very strong eco potential for the Malians, and you can hear the music in the background. I absolutely love the Malian music, I've got to say. Absolute treat to listen to. The Khan just being a bit annoying, and the interesting thing as well with the Malians versus the Mongols, especially on this map, you know, the Mongols tend to like to do a bit of harassment early on with like an outpost rush, but it's just a little less viable, right? Because like if you think about it, if he denies a bit of eco, well, he's got 23 villages, right? So it's a lot different, say for example on Dry Arabia on standard settings. If you start off with only 6 villages, by the time the outpost gets there, maybe you're at about 8 or 10 or something like that. If you deny a couple of villages working, it's such a bigger impact on the total economy. Whereas if you do a bit of idle time now with 26 villages, or 23 odd, or whatever it was starting off with, it was 23 to start off with, but by the time, you know, villages get across the map, probably be around 30. You know, you idle 3 villages, it's not really much of a big deal. So outpost rushing in Empire Wars is a little bit more tricky as the Mongols. And they used to love, you know, outpost rushing into trade. They're causing the early harassment, and then being able to trade behind that. They're still being able to do it with the Keshik somewhat. It might lose the Khan. It does lose the Khan, and Magic snipes that nicely with the Soffer. Interestingly enough, Magic actually opting to get Soffer cavalry on the field as well, which is understandable. Gets that mobility. It's going to go triple stable. Okay. Well, I take back everything I said about the Donsos and Javelin Throwers. Whilst they're good, unique units, to be fair, Soffer's unique as well, but it would take quite a while for those units to get across the map, right? So rather than go for like a death ball timing push, as the Malians, it looks like it's going to go for the early harassment with the Soffer. And I like this play because the thing is about the Malians, they get passive generation of resources, right? They get passive generation of gold from the Mansa Quarry. They're getting passive food from the cattle ranches. They're getting passive gold from the pit mines. And what do you need for Suffer? Well, you need food and gold. That's exactly what he needs today to get the Suffer numbers out. And he's got 3 stables. And I think generally what this might do, I like this play actually. This is really smart because what the Mongols tend to do is go for Keshiks and archers, right? With Magic now going for full Suffer, that's going to deal with the Keshiks in a decent way. But it's also going to deal with those archers. Those archers won't get huge amounts of value. The Suffer aren't the greatest. Like, they're not heavily armored. I mean, they are heavily armored, but they're not as strong as many other cavalry units against the archers. So they're a strong, decent unit. It's not like a French Royal Knight as such, but it's definitely up there with the strength of unit. Gonna push away the Keshiks. And of course, these guys aren't as expensive as a French Royal Knight. Hovering at over them. It's cost 120 food, 60 gold. Does take out one of the Keshiks. And going to back away. Nice micro there by Magic so far. And the reason why I like this matchup, Vortix versus Magic, is because they're both very, very micro kind of... They're gifted, shall we say. They're very good at microing. Probably some of the best in the game. And you can see harassing the trade on the west side does take one trader. And this is what it's all about. Trying to stop the Mongols. And it looks like the Malians today dishing out a lot of damage and doing well with this. Should be able to get one more Keshik. I'll snipe that in the end. Trade being sniped. Keshik cleaning it up in the north. But overall, I mean, the thing is that it's just kind of like bleeding, right? Vortix just needs to stem the bleeding as much as possible. Traders are still making their way across now. It's not a great trade route here. 24 gold, 2 food, 2 wood. But this one should be better. There we are. 75 gold on the longer trade route. Taking the engagement there. Trying to microwave the weak Sofa, but doesn't quite manage it that time. The Keshiks are losing their lives. Does clean up whatever army was there. And trying to be aggressive on the front lines, Vortix, but not really managing it with an archer or two. As we say, there are more archers now. This is starting to become a bit of a death ball. And the Sofa need to be careful not to get too many hits against them. He's starting to back off. That army is looking dangerous now for Vortix. The trade is coming online. You can see a 9 worker difference or 9 economy unit difference in advantage for Vortix and the Mongols. And that's going to pay dividends. That's going to be translating into more military. Now the Keshiks do actually also cost gold. That's going to be more than funded by the trade. And he could maybe even, I mean, he could trade that gold, right? He can buy food and wood with it if he needs to. So we're going to ride past the archers. And now he's going to focus them down. Those archers are dead. Another archer being sent. I think this is mostly for scouting more than anything. He's not going to be able to achieve very much with one archer. But he's keeping the army back at home, right? So the archers are almost paying for themselves, buying Vortix time, causing the Sofa to go home. And if they're at home, well, then it means they're not attacking. I'll split his army into 2. Mostly on the east side is where the resistance will come from the Mongols. That's a fight that Magic won't necessarily want to take. The charge comes in with the Keshiks. Takes a great engagement. A couple more stuff coming in from the backline there. This could be ending up well in terms of numbers. I think now the Keshiks do need to back off. The second army in reinforcements really changed that fight. On the west side, he's making some moves as well. On the east side, taking the engagement, trying to get a wrap around on the archers. If he gets the archer numbers down, that'll be ideal. There's the attack arrow. And in fact, Magic is going to get out of there. He's going to hightail it out of there. Try and maybe take a trader or 2 on the way. Just make sure that the archers don't get the bonus of the Khan's arrow. There it is. You can take a couple more traders. Spearmen are going to have to head in this position. The Spearmen will do great work against this, especially because they're obviously anti-cavalry. They're going to fight against the Keshik, heading northwards again. But the Mongols holding firm. He's losing a couple of traders here and there, but not that much. Especially when you can consider he's got the silver tree and a market going. What's interesting is he's still double producing the traders. It's kind of crazy, actually. He's not, but he has actually relocated the silver tree. So some of these units, some of these traders aren't getting full value, but still getting a good amount of income coming in. Maybe splitting it into 2, like he's getting some traders with suboptimal kind of income and some with better income, and that just keeps the economy trickling. But behind all of this, well, there's that castle age in for the Malians going up with the grand Fulani Coral. Food income is going to be skyrocketing very quickly. And it is. It just means that these Sofa are going to be upgraded into veteran Sofa, and that's going to be great for his army. There we are. Veteran Sofa are going to be a hard order to deal with for Vortix, but he's going to go to the castle age himself, maybe with the Kurultai, I would have thought, but we shall see. It's got to be the Kurultai, really, isn't it? But going to come home now, Magic, and maybe he feels like he's done what he needed to do, but he's still pretty far behind on economy. It is going to be the Kurultai. Magic, though, I mean, I say he's behind on economy, but actually is he? When you consider the fact that he's getting 1,500 food per minute from the Grand Fulani Coral, I actually don't think he's that far behind. He's done so much damage to the trade. Or he's done a decent amount, at least. It means the rest of it is kind of taken care of by the pit mine gold generation and the Grand Fulani Coral and the cows. So Magic staying in the game for now, which is actually a lot more than can be said for many other players against the Mongols. Mongols are known to be very difficult to deal with. That's not good. That's a lot of villagers that are idle there for Vortix. He does react to it now. That's quite a bit of idle time, I've got to say. We're just standing there watching. The Spearman going to brace against the Sopher. The Sopher diving in. Oh, he did attack move. I think he does take the Spearman out. He needs to take the Spearman out because he's got archers there getting DPS on them. Keshik's right in. Oh, there's a lot of Spearmen there. I think Magic has to tie-tail out of there. There's too many Spearmen. It was a bad fight there overall. Down to 23 military. This is a tricky situation now for Magic. Loses another Sopher on the gold. Was harassing villagers, but it was just one. Where do you go from here if you're Magic, though? He's struggling a little bit. 56 economy versus 76. Sorry, 70 rather. It's a good lead. Going for barracks, maybe more Donsos to add to the mix. Alright, well, he's going to wall up on the west side. Maybe play the late game a little bit. Going to be harassing in the east. A lot of Sopher. Pretty much just stuck in with Sophers. Does have a scout there as well for extra vision. Needs to be careful though. There's a mixed army here. The Spearmen are the most dangerous thing here for the Mongols. Keshik would act as a good meat shield as well, but yeah, I think at this point Magic's struggling to do any more damage to the trade, and let's just see how many traders he has at the moment. 26 in total. Yeah, I would love to see this this moved out to the corner now, the Silver Tree. So I'm going to go try and circle on the north, trying to see if Mongols' army are out of position, but they're not. He's keeping a close eye on things there, the Khan. But I think, yeah, I mean, I think what Magic's doing, he's teeing himself up for a big fight, right? He's getting imported armor, which will increase the armor by +2, and also getting decarbonization, the attack upgrade for these Sopher. But Kurultai is making his way forward. This could be a really interesting engagement. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. It doesn't necessarily feel like there's enough Spearmen, but it does feel like he's double producing here almost. 15 Spearmen, I think that's enough. When you consider there's only 20 Sopher, that's more than enough. And that could be a bad fight for Magic if he takes it. Now, granted, he doesn't have the full blacksmith upgrades here, Vortix. But he is getting decarbonization himself. Oh, on the west side, a couple of Sopher getting some kills on the traders. There is an outpost to defend with. But he's certainly harassing. Oh, he's going on the north way as well. Like, you can see the maneuverability of the Sopher. They're just being used really well by Magic. So he'll engage against the Keshik underneath the outpost. That's pretty suboptimal. He will lose those. Or at least if he doesn't, they'll be going very low in health and he has to ride out of there. I'm not sure if Vortix sees this. Well, he sees it now because they're going to destroy the Ovu. Oh, it looks like he lost the villager building that palisade wall. Musafadi warriors. Oh, I love that approach because the Musafadi warriors will rip through those Keshiks. They will kind of melt to the archers, but the thing is Musafadis can use some stealth, right? That's such a kind of key. And he's just using the mobility. I love how Magic is just pulling and poking and just pulling Vortix in every direction. He's engaging again, taking a couple of traders out whilst he can. Healing to suffer off, and they're going to join the main fight now, but I think obviously the Mongols should win this. Especially fighting underneath the outpost. And Magic does try and run out of there. Keshik gets a good charge off. A couple of Spearman hits as well. Going to get another trader for his troubles. But he's doing great work here. Killed 14 eco units. Only lost the one. Magic. Three Sopher trying to get value at the back. That's a long distance chopping there. Army numbers pretty even actually. But I gotta say I favour Vortix's position with the mixed army composition. Maybe make a push on the middle of the base. The Sopher do end up losing their lives. On the side, this is a great engagement there by Magic. He's got a couple of the Keshiks surrounded. The houses, I think, is a problem for the pathing though, I've got to say. He will get us around, kills a lot of Keshiks, and that's a great fight. Needs to be careful about this main fight in the middle of the base though. Magic needs to get out of there, needs to regroup and push again. Take another good fight, but there's a lot of Spearmen. How does he deal with that? Maybe with the Musafadi warriors, it could be an option. He's going to engage with the Sophers heading into the fight as well, but I'm not sure why Vortix isn't fighting that. Sure, there are Musafadi warriors, but he would kill a lot of those Sopher. He's going to back off for now, maybe just look to double down, get more reinforcements. Oh, but it might be sandwiched in between. Sofa coming in from the northeast. There are Sofa in the south and Musafadi warriors. This could be devastating. Oh, he's got so many traders here. He took out the outpost on the west side. It will be cleaned up eventually, but that's going to direct a lot of the Mongol army in that position. He does get sandwiched. Magic with the surround. The Khan gets the signal arrow, but look at the Musafadi warriors going to go for the spearman first. And this is a crazy fight. A great maneuver there by Magic to get a full surround. There are a lot of spearmen, but the Musafadi warriors going to do great work against them to suffer. As long as they can survive and just focus on the archers, they will be fine. It looks like a great fight for Magic in the end. He should clear this up, but it's a great masterclass in terms of positioning of army units, and he just waited until the critical moment, until he had enough. But, I mean, he's only going to win it, only slight, but it's pretty good game sense. The Musafadi warriors just tipping it over the edge, and now the Mongols, they're down to 27 military, which is the same as Magic. Well, this is looking a little bit better for Magic, I gotta say. Which is kind of strange, right? When you think about Mongol trade and how dominating it can be. But now that they're down to 7 eco difference in terms of just short, raw numbers, don't forget, the cow boom is on. Don't forget, it's getting passive gold generation. And that's so strong, but he might be taking engagement underneath the coral tide, which is not going to be ideal. He needs to wait for the main army to come across. Takes a suboptimal engagement to start the fight, but he's going to rush in and continue forward on. And if he gets a good surround of this army, pushes this back, he might get a surround on the coral tide and take it out. Takes a trade out. Now, this could be a critical denial of the trade. Now, the great thing about the Malians at eco at the moment is that it's very well protected, right? In terms of, like, it's not so exposed. Like, the trade now is kind of cut off for now, just by losing one side. And now the Magic going to continue trickling in resources into the military, but it's a bit slow. He's picking up a couple of relics as well behind this. Great multitasking. Oh, on the west side, though, keep goes up at the right possible time. The best possible time. The Mongol army, oh, it's going to be caught out again on the west side. That's a suboptimal fight for Vortix for sure. On the east side, the Musafadi warrior is going to chase down, and the Musafadi warriors will be happy about taking a fight against the Kejiks, not so much against the archers. But Vortix is having to hightail it out of there on the west side. The military numbers really starting to scale for Magic. 57, who has got a group of Sofa. They could do a lot of raiding damage. That could be key. We shall see if they engage at all. Musafadi warriors hightailing it out of there, going back home. On the west side, the dominating push there on the west. Oh, no, that's bad. There are 7 villages. Oh, no, Magic. No, come back. Well, he's just missed out on that, but he might just focus on the gold. He does focus on the gold. Great reactions by Vortix on the east side. He pulls away Magic. Keeps those Musafadi warriors alive for now, but on the west side, he takes an engagement, going to kill a couple of Keshiks, and this is where Magic starts to dictate the terms of the engagements, right? He's forcing the issues where he wants to. He's got the mobility. The Musafadi warriors pretty fast on their feet. Take a look at this. A great movement speed, 1.38 for an infantry. When you factor in the archers, 1.25, so they'll be able to chase them down. Sofa coming in. Oh, second time of asking. Magic! Stop it! Oh, he spots it now. Villagers do retreat. Oh, Musafadi warriors running into it, and that's going to be a great engagement. The Musafadi warriors will rip through the Keshiks. But he's going to kill so many villagers here. Vortix hasn't noticed. On the east side, he's going to just bait with a couple of Musafadi warriors. He backs off for now, but villagers go down. A couple of crossbows coming out for the Mongols on the west side. On that wood line, that army has been taken apart, but take a look at this. He's coming forward with that Toll outpost. That's going to deny the trade on the west side, probably for good, and that's a big chunk of the eco that will be idled. Vortix will not... Oh, no. Vortix, do something about this. You got to notice, my dude. He's going to lose a lot of villagers. Hello? I can't look away. This is devastating. He's just lost his whole gold line, and with the trade now being idled, that is a huge problem. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. He taps Sal. Vortix. His Mongol trade has been denied. Magic takes the game on Woodwall. And well, he casted a spell or two because Mongols have finally been defeated.